Hey everyone, this is How to Sell Art by Professional Artists, episode 2. Got my friend here, Kyle Pickard. He's an amazing video producer, and I am a landscape photographer. I sell thousands of dollars of my own work every week. I have my own art gallery. We're actually in this here. So I'm here to bring you tips, strategies, and tactics on how to sell your own work. So basically, you've got art, how do you sell it? Here we go, that's the first question.
So the first thing that I know a lot of people ask you about is price.
Yes.
How do you know what to price your art at, especially when you have different sizes or different types of art or anything? How do I start thinking about that?
Absolutely. So this is a really good question. Generally speaking, there's two schools of thought on how to price art. First one, which is how I started, is look at what's already being sold, find comparable things. I know art is always unique, but if you can find like comparable things to yourself and see what they're selling for, and then try to price it accordingly, that's a great way to get started. No matter what, always make sure there's a value ladder.
Okay.
So, let's say a piece is $500, have a print for $100, or a small 8x10 for $20 or $10, and then like a masterpiece in a nice frame for $2,000. The more you develop that value ladder and the fuller that value ladder is, the more people can afford your art at exactly the point that they want to be at, and you can serve a wider range of customers.
Okay, so explain that a little bit more for somebody who's never heard of that or doesn't really know how to start thinking about that. What is a value ladder?
So a value ladder is an internet marketing concept that was brought about by Russell Brunson, the founder of ClickFunnels. He's a genius. Basically, what you do is you have like an intro service, which is either free or very low cost, say $10. And then there's something a little bit more. That's the next logical step, like $40, $50, then $100, then $200, then $500, $1,000. At the end of it, you have your all-time masterpiece for $500,000, So it's like a ladder, and there's different price points on each point, and you're servicing the customer at a higher level on each point. That way, if somebody wants a gift for $50, they can support you. If they want something like an all-time piece that they're going to keep over their couch for the rest of their life, and they're okay with investing in it, you could sell them a $20,000 piece. But $10 to infinite value ladder.
Okay, so when we create this value ladder, is the point for somebody to just be able to buy whatever price point they want, or should you be moving people all the way through it?
Typically somebody comes in, they're looking at your lower priced offerings, but as you communicate your story and your messaging and what it took to put that art together, they often move up the value ladder and are willing to buy bigger or more expensive things.
Okay.
Having different mediums to say print on, I'm a photographer, so having paper, canvas, metal, glass, you can sell the same image in the same size for more expensive because glass is a more expensive medium because it's heavier and it's more expensive to print.
Gotcha. Okay, so speaking of glass and printing and things like that, so somebody's kind of looked around at what they want to do for pricing. How do they know where to go to get stuff printed?
That's a really good question. Let me answer the last part of the last question first.
Okay.
I said there's two strategies for pricing art. One is look what's being done already, and the other one is a little bit more for painters than photographers. Decide what it's worth. Look at it yourself. What do you want for it? Be willing to sit on it for a month before it sells, but just look at it, decide what you want for it, pick a number, and put it there, and don't settle for less.
So what do you do if you do pick a number like that and it's not moving? It's
build the value, tell the story more, go on a Facebook Live, make a video, write an ebook that tells the journey, distribute that, print it out, have it on a laminated card to show people. The story with art is what really adds value.
Okay.
Another thing that adds value is having something a little bit less expensive and a little bit more expensive. It's way easier to sell the second most expensive thing in your display than the most expensive thing.
And I'm sure that having that most expensive one
makes the second one look cheaper.
Right,
yeah.
Okay.
People went crazy when I started offering a $900 huge canvas print, but then when I have a $2,000 huge wall-sized glass piece, $900 doesn't sound so crazy.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So that's a really smart tactic to use.
Thanks.
So
value ladder.
So moving from price,
yeah.
Right? Then now we want to go into where do we print this stuff? How do we know where to go?
So I have a few secrets, some of which I've told a few select artists that have asked me, and some I've totally kept to myself. I'm going to spill it all on the table here. I print on paper, I print on metal, I print on canvas, and I print on glass. So let's start with paper. I print on Amazon Prints. Just go onto Amazon, type in Amazon prints. You can get amazing, especially if you have Amazon Prime, you don't have to pay for shipping. You can ship it out all over the country in America. And
also,
8x10s
if you're watching this, we're going to put all the links there in the description for you on
we're
YouTube.
Gonna have the link for you.
You can just link right directly out to it.
Appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah.
So the paper, I do Amazon prints, and they ship out. I have a Prime account, so I don't pay shipping on that. And it's really efficient. And that's the beginning of my value ladder. The least expensive product that I have is $19, and it's an 8x10 print. It's about that big. And I use Amazon prints for that. The next rung of my value ladder is metal. So I do metallic paper, which is a very thin sheet of metal stamped onto photographic paper. And it's actually exposed with a light, kind of like the old days of like film in a darkroom. So this is actually metal prints that are exposed with light rather than there's no ink involved.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's like a $150,000 printer to do it, and they're based in Minnesota. Anyway, some of the best. Oh, I love them. They ship it out and they drop ship it. So sharpprints.com is who I use for metal. I think they call it like Kodak metallic prints or whatever. We'll have the link for you on that, but they're phenomenal and it stuns people. People look at a $2,000 glass piece and they're like torn between the glass and the metal. I mean, it's that good.
And if you're on the live stream, we got the links for you right there.
Yep.
If you're watching this on
everyone.
YouTube, we do live stream every single time that we
Jerome,
stream this.
good to see you.
So you can
Hey, Elle,
check it out
how-
there, give us some live
Hey
comments.
Ashley, hey Teresa, hey Mel.
It was sharpprints.com, right, Craig?
Yes, sharpprints.com. So that's for the metal. Now for the canvas, I use a fantastic canvas printer out of, I believe it's Austin, Texas. And it's called easycanvasprints.com. And they drop ship all over the country for you, and they're fantastic. Their customer service is incredible.
Which is, just want to point out, that's what all of this is in the back,
canvas
except
prints.
for that one glass.
Yep, canvas, metal with glass over the top. That's a metallic print, that's why it's so shiny.
Gotcha.
The metal, by the way, is deeper, more reflective. So paper, Amazon prints, metal, sharpprints.com, canvas, I use easyprints.com, easycanvasprints.com, and then for glass, I have a special supplier that doesn't even have a website, so I'll figure it out later. Glass is kind of special. I just have a secret kind of custom line to them. So Kyle is putting the...
So yeah, I'm just actively putting in those links there for the live stream.
It's not amazonprints.com. You just go onto Amazon, you type Amazon Prints. Just a little change thing. But everything else is valid. It's all good.
All right.
Okay, next question.
So then after that, how do you... Okay, so you figured out a supplier, right? How to get all your stuff printed.
Have them drop shipped. Don't bother printing them yourself and then mailing out with stamps and packages in your house. It's so much easier to drop ship. It's an email away. You send it to your printer. You pay them. It's so much easier. Etsy, Amazon Handmade.
First of all, what is drop shipping for people who don't know?
Okay, cool. Good point. So drop shipping is where you ask a supplier, so a manufacturer, an industrial warehouse with machines in it. You ask them to print a piece, put it in packaging, put stamps or whatever postage on it, and take it to their shipper, and they ship it directly to the customer. You never touch it. It means that if you're traveling, it means that if you don't have a lot of space in your home to stockpile all the different variations. I know with me, I have like over 1,000 different variations, and then I have over 200 different pictures, so it's like 5,000 variations. I could never warehouse that where I am.
Right.
So I drop ship exclusively for shipping stuff.
And I want to...
Real quick. So I write it, when I get an order, I write an email to my supplier, and they send it to my guy. I don't touch it.
I just want to point out, I also use drop shipping for some of the stuff that I do, and
highly recommended.
It saves so much time because I remember there was one specific time that I was like waiting on a plane to go to wherever I was going, and I got an email, or I got an order that came in through Shopify.
Nice.
And because I had drop shipping set up, I was able to fulfill that order. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to go run off the plane or anything. So.
You feel like an international businessman, like typing in your order on your phone, hitting send, you'd be like, I'm done.
Well, no, I didn't even have to do that. I just get an email saying, boom, the order's in. And then
it fulfilled it automatically?
Yeah, I have a company that fulfills it.
This guy's smarter than me. I do all my orders manually because I haven't hooked up all the software and stuff. I'm sure as I get more fancy, I'll do that. But
So what else?
I send the emails or type in with the website manually once I get the order.
So I'm wondering, because I know that you do a lot of it right here in person as well.
Yeah.
What else do you do? Like, what other tips or what should people know about fulfillment?
Oh, real quick. For my art gallery that we're in right now, I get big shipments in, so I'll spend thousands of dollars ordering a big shipment in, and then I'll just hang it up and store it in a back storage room. So that's obviously not drop shipping, but the ability to, when you're selling on Etsy or Amazon or eBay or your own website, the ability to ship all throughout the country and world is a highly valued commodity, and you should not overlook drop shipping. Hit me up in the comments or PM me or DM me afterwards if you want to know. If you have any questions, anything I didn't make clear, and I'll help you set up drop shipping. I'd be more than happy to do that. Go ahead.
So I was wondering about any other things that people should know about fulfillment, like just making sure that the orders go through properly, the canvas is exactly how it should be, whatever
totally
tips you have on that.
I always, obviously, the channels that I've given you here they're huge. They're huge fulfillment. Like Amazon's huge. Easy Canvas prints are huge. Sharp Prints is a little smaller, but they do hundreds of orders a day, so their quality is pretty good. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in business. But I always, as a rule, ship something to myself before I send it the first time, and I make sure the quality is good before I trust them to send blind to the customer. Because obviously, you're not an intermediate point. They're sending directly to the customer. So just to make sure.
So you put yourself in there as like quality control, basically.
Yeah. For the first shipment, sometimes 2 shipments if there's like 2 different kinds of things. So
yeah.
I always want to make sure that I've personally touched the product before I send it to a customer.
That makes a lot of sense, because then you know exactly what they're experiencing as well.
Yeah. And I always write a personal note to the order. Even if there's an automated thank you for your order, I always say, hi, this is Craig Alexander Photography. Thank you so much for your order and supporting the local arts. I'm getting this shipped off to you right now. You should get it on blah date. By the way, you can check out my website if you want to see more, or just thank you so much. Let me know if you ever need anything. And just that personal little touch means a lot to people.
Now, can you get those notes done through dropshipping as well, or do you send those separately?
I haven't figured out how to do that. I know when you buy something on Amazon, sometimes you have an opportunity to do like a personalized gift message.
Yeah.
I haven't figured out how to, I'm not perfect at this yet. I haven't figured out how to exactly get that yet. But
okay.
I know on Easy Canvas Prints it's just kind of blind shipping, but I'm sure at a later point I can help figure that out.
Gotcha. Okay. So then moving forward, now we have our canvas, right? We priced it out.
Canvas, paper, metal, whatever.
Right, whatever the medium is, and we figured out how we're going to get people fulfilled. Now, how do we get exposure to that? How do we get people to actually see the art and want to buy it?
It's a really good question. So I've sold over $100,000 of art in the last 6-7 months, and the way I do it is I have a gallery in a mall, because this is where people are already shopping. So you go to where the traffic already is rather than trying to create traffic. Okay. So much easier. Now, it was a big investment for me. I sold out of another gallery that was already established, so I had low risk to start off with years ago when I was getting started. But I tried it out enough to take the plunge and pay $3,000 a month to have my own gallery in a really high-end shopping mall just south of Nashville. So it's not a beginner move. You need to make sure that you know what you're doing first, otherwise you can waste a lot of money with that. But what I recommend is starting out with farmers markets, craft shows, art shows, weekend shows. You have a regular 9 to 5, but then on the weekend you go out every weekend. I don't recommend flea markets. Stick with a higher end crowd, because art is a luxury fundamentally, and you want to make sure you cater to people who have discretionary income. But go to where people are already buying trinkets and look at the price points of things. Are there $300 things, or is this strictly $50 and below? Make sure that your art is priced in line with the pricing of that show. There's certain home shows that you can go to and you can get a booth for $100. Sometimes home shows are $5,000 for a weekend. Sometimes they're $100 for a weekend. And you can test out your market, test out everything that you need so that everything's rolling. You know what sells, you know what doesn't. You have lots of inventory before you set up a gallery like this.
So in addition to that, would you say that it's also fairly strategic to know what your actual costs are and everything? That way you can actually move around your price points without having to stay at whatever you think it's worth.
Frozen at $100.
Yeah, because you want to experiment with different shows and what's.
Absolutely, that's a good question. I have price sheets for myself. What am I selling it for retail, and what do I pay for it wholesale? And that's everything, framing, everything that it takes to go into producing that. So I figure, I want to double or triple my money or whatever the multiplier is. You've got to know what you're selling it for, and if they get if they get multiple pieces, can you like make a package deal and save them some money? You got to know how low you can go on each piece. Very often I don't negotiate. I might throw a little piece in for free. I try not to go down on my stuff because it kind of devalues it for everybody. I try to sell most of my stuff full price. There are occasionally exceptions if there's like a little damaged thing in the corner, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's important to know your costs so that you can do that.
Okay, so I got one more question for you, and then we got a couple coming in from Facebook as well.
Oh, sweet.
So
hit me up with your questions. I want to know what you want to know. I'm here to help. I'm here to answer your questions. Do please let me know what you want to know.
So last week on that show, I know that you had mentioned Amazon Handmade.
Yes.
What is the process for getting your art onto there so that you're on a major distribution channel?
That's a really good question. How do I answer this? Signing up for Amazon Handmade is really easy. You go to Amazon Handmade, just type that in, and you'll find it. It's basically a web shop where artists who do handmade crafts and art and paintings and stuff can sell their own stuff using the power and the customership of Amazon. Highly, highly recommended. Amazon Handmade is number 1. Etsy is number 2. Etsy is easier to set up, way, way easier. So maybe start with that and then go to Amazon Handmade once you're set up on Etsy. But Etsy.com, ETSY.com, and then Amazon Handmade. You just apply. There's a little form you got to fill out. Just answer the questions and be truthful, obviously. But they usually accept you if you're a bona fide artist.
So say that somebody only has the time or the bandwidth to do one of those at a time. Do you prefer doing Etsy first versus Amazon Handmade first,
Yeah.
and why?
Absolutely. There's more customers on Amazon Handmade, but Etsy is so user-friendly. Especially if you're not techie or nerdy, it's so much easier getting a shop started on Etsy. And then once you're fully established and you know what you're doing on Etsy, go over to Amazon Handmade. Now that said, it doesn't take any bandwidth to maintain a shop, or hardly any. So if you can start an Etsy shop and get it fully running, you can absolutely do an Amazon shop. No question. It's just in terms of gradient, start with the easier one.
Gotcha. Okay, so moving over to our Facebook questions. Jerome is wondering, he said, myself being an artist, what app or software have you heard of that I could use to change values or colors within my existing prints?
Okay, good question. There's a lot of editing software out there. I highly recommend Adobe Lightroom, which is a little brother of Photoshop. It's really user-friendly, it's very powerful, and it's all visual, and it's really easy to learn. So highly recommend Adobe Lightroom. It costs $10 a month, and you get Photoshop thrown in. You can use it unlimitedly. It's an incredible deal. It's easy to learn. Go on YouTube for tutorials on how to use Lightroom, or get my course that I'm releasing in 6 months, but for now, use YouTube.
And also Lightroom Mobile is completely free now. So, I mean, I'm not saying that you should be doing...
It's free. But if you want it on your desktop, $10 a month.
So it's a good place to start if you want to just see what that platform's like and everything too.
I agree with that.
I think that's what we got for this episode.
Okay, cool. So I'd love any more questions. I don't know if we'll have time for a ton of questions, but if you have anything urgently that you want to know, hit me up. And if we don't have time, we will answer those next week. Thank you so much for watching.
And if you're watching here on YouTube, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. You know that there's the bell there. It's going to give you notifications every single time that there's a new video on this channel.
Yep.
Seriously, this is a conversation where we're here to bring you value. So please comment below with something that we didn't cover fully, something that you want to know more about, so that we can make sure that we actually either get right there in the comments and talk with you, or cover on a future episode.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see your comments about what you want to know. And we'll be doing this every Sunday. We're a little bit late today. We had a little bit of a delay, but normally every Sunday at 7 o'clock Central Time or 8 o'clock Eastern Time in America, obviously. So we'll be live every week, and we're going to be doing more and more of this. There's going to be videos. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. So can't wait to continue doing this for you, and let us know what you want to see. All right, bye.